All right, welcome back to the Virtue Bowling Supply YouTube channel, your go-to place for non-staff, non-biased, multi-style reviews. My name is Chris, and I'm here to bring the high-rev perspective.
And my name is Josh, and I will be bringing the low-rev perspective.
Today, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Roto Grip Gremlin, and I'm going to be comparing it to the Deviate Hater Pearl and the Motive Evoke Hysteria.
And I'll be comparing it to the Radical Torpedo and the Supra Clutch. These comparisons will give us and you an idea of what these pieces look like going down the lane. At the end, we'll give our honest, unbiased review anywhere from nuts to trash. We are here at Via Linda today on a fresh house shot. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out on the lanes.
All right, just wrapped up throwing the brand new Roto Grip Gremlin. This one to me was kind of confusing going down the lane. I could definitely tell the core was a bit stronger, but the cover really was pretty quick to friction and more down lane. So it was kind of hard to tell where I really needed to play. So I was kind of bouncing around, playing from left, playing from straight. The few shots in the middle I thought were better when I was playing straighter. When I moved left, I definitely had to steepen my angles and kind of get it to friction. The misses left were not that great. I definitely, if it was in the oil, it had to be slow just to make sure it kind of came off of it. But this one definitely needed a little bit more friction to really blend it and kind of go through the pins. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Hater Pearl and see how that compares. All right, after seeing the Hater Pearl go down the lane, this one is definitely a much slower shape. I had to be quite a bit slower with the ball speed to get this one to kind of come around the corner. I think overall it was more predictable because I knew what it was gonna do. I knew it was gonna give me a really slow kind of down lane shape. So I felt, even though the shots weren't the greatest, I felt a little bit more comfortable throwing it, just knowing that you were going to get what you were going to get out of this one. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw the Motive Evoke Hysteria and see how that compares. All right, after seeing the Evoke Hysteria go down the lane, I think this one is a little bit more rounded kind of shape, so I had to play pretty straight. But for here, off spot, it wasn't the greatest. It didn't really blend the friction very well. So the shots I got to the right kind of went through the face and split a couple times. But playing left, I feel like it wanted to read in the oil a little bit better than the Gremlin. The Gremlin just being a little bit cleaner and a little bit more down lane. Just kind of saw a little bit more of that hockey stick type of ball motion. All right, final thoughts on the Gremlin. Personally, out of box, I'm not quite convinced this one's gonna be very good. Initially, I really kind of wanted to hit it with surface, just because I feel like it wants to be kind of an earlier shape, but with that cover, it's just like way too clean for what I think it's supposed to be for. So that kind of doesn't really wow me out of the box. With that being said, I'm gonna have to give this one a meh. I just thought it was okay. The shots that I got really good, honest, shaped really well, but I think I had to be a little bit too perfect with it for it to shape properly. My misses that were a little fast never really saw the spot, and the ones that were slow were a little too quick and kind of went through the face on me. So this one's definitely gonna be a meh for me.
Just threw 10 shots with the new Roto Grip Gremlin. This ball for me, I really like the way it looks, but unfortunately I did not love the way it shaped. Going down the lane, I felt like it was a big core stuck in a weak cover. Kind of reminded me of almost like a Beyond Infinity shape, where the cover was so clean that it didn't allow the ball to shape the way the ball wanted to. And what that resulted for me was that I felt like I had to get it to friction because of how clean the cover was, but the core was still so forward that when it got there, it just wasn't retaining enough energy. So that tells me I had to keep it in the oil, but if I kept it in the oil, it never hooked. So it was a very weird type of ball for me. I felt like I needed surface. You know, next time I use it, I may put 2,000, maybe even 1,000 on it just to get it to really makes sense together, the core and the cover. But for what we're bowling on right now, this gave me a very poor ball reaction. I was not very comfortable with it, and again, it's really hard to throw good shots when you don't necessarily quite know what the ball is going to do. So now we're going to go ahead and throw 5 shots with the torpedo and see how it compares. Just threw 5 shots with the Radical Torpedo. This ball was definitely a little bit cleaner of a shape. It's still forward, but for me, I felt like it was actually got off spot better. For me, the Gremlin was just, again, a little weird to define because it was clean yet strong. And I felt like the Torpedo kind of fits both of those, but just definitely rolled 10 times better. It was a lot cleaner, a lot easier to predict. You could really tell once the ball wanted to change direction as the Gremlin, I felt like it could have hooked at 40 feet, it could have hooked at 50 feet, and I really didn't know until it did. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw 5 shots with the Super Clutch and see how it compares. Just threw 5 shots with the Super Clutch. This ball, compared to the Gremlin, was similar in cleanness, but definitely more forward and more predictable. It gave me just a smoother shape overall, and I didn't have to really question whether or not it was going to make it off spot. And how it got off spot too was 10 times more predictable and really an understandable shape. It wasn't just understanding what it did, but also knowing when I needed to change that shape and move a little bit. It gave me more information than the Gremlin did. Final thoughts on the Roto Grip Gremlin. This ball for me just unfortunately did not please my eye. I felt like it was just a weird rolling ball for me, and I feel like I would need to mash it with surface to make it even look good. But even then, again, I just don't quite know if I could trust the way this ball shapes and the ball motion that it provides. So with that being said, unfortunately, the final rating for this ball today is gonna have to be a potato. It wasn't the worst ball I've thrown on camera, but it by far was not anywhere near close to the best. Unfortunately, it was just way too clean of a cover for me, and didn't really want to blend that cliff in fact, at all. So unfortunately today, it's gonna be a potato.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video useful, make sure to like it, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.